shot, but I got the reach. Pop, lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach. I just do what comes natural. 5-star, everything I see. Live lost, no apology. Take charge, no one can compete. I just do what comes natural.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Shannon from Can We Talk Sports. I am so excited about this show today.
Yes.
Listen, so we had a chance to meet the guests. I'm just going to go right in just a little bit of it. So we had a chance to meet the guests in the green room, and I'm telling you, we are about to be on the floor. But listen, I'm talking about he has worked with Adidas, Walt Disney, General Mills. I'm telling you, that's just the beginning. So, but before we get started, I want to introduce my host.
I'm Carmen, aka Mama D. So I'm a sports mom, sports aunt, and community sports supporter.
All right.
And I'm Irisha, aka Icy. I'm a fashion designer, sports mom, and community sports mom, and mom of a college athlete currently.
Okay. So, Irisha, tell everybody how they can find us.
Y'all can find us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and IG as well at Can We Talk Sports.
And if you want to be a special guest or you want to sponsor, you can contact us like Mr. Lindy did at canwetalksports.com.
All right. So, listen, this is the hottest topic. Okay. So, how important is it for your moms, personal, to pour into your community and education? How important is it?
Very important. Very important. We got to give back. Whatever knowledge that we've gained, we need to be pouring it into those who haven't gained that knowledge. We got to give back.
I believe it's good to pour into, especially if you go into just strictly from the sports aspect, some parents that are coming in, they don't understand the process. Some of them think their kids are supposed to be on the field right now. They need to learn the process that their kid is not the only one. And when it comes to recruitment, that your kid is not the only one being recruited. Be proactive, but also give the coach the opportunity to do his job.
So when you're saying pouring in, I mean, what do you mean? Do you mean like set up events? Do you mean like host seminars for the parents? I mean,
whatever is your niche, okay? Whatever you have a passion for, give. Whatever you like to do, then do it. Whether it's cooking in the kitchen, helping with concessions, helping at track meets, with the flag, or whatever you have a passion for, give back.
One of the give backs I can say that I came up with that leveled into DeSoto High School is brotherhood. And that was because I had a football athlete, and it actually goes on and on. We did the brotherhood where some parents get together every week and cook for them and let them, bond, because we know the bond outside the field makes it stronger. So that's actually an ongoing thing. We would do a thing called polish and prayer.
Okay.
Clean their lockers and wipe their helmets and pray in a circle. And that's been ongoing. So I think that's good, because when you're doing that, you're teaching those parents different things. Some of them are just coming in and just trying to learn.
Yeah.
And praying over those kids is
go.
very important.
Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah. Keeping them covered.
Working in community it's very key. I think as we could do all of that, but I think the main thing that we need to really do is really educate the athletes financially.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure. Yeah.
Because you got so many athletes now, they're able to make money off their name.
Now,
you can go 1 minute, you can go from $200 to 20 mil instantly, right? And then if there is no, education, right? So I think that's another thing, community-wise, that we need to do is be able to teach these young people how to handle the money. Because when COVID happened, you were surprised. A lot of athletes who didn't understand, that was professional athletes struggled because they didn't have no budget. There was they weren't playing no games. And then they had their mama, their grandmama, their aunt, their uncle, everybody they were taking care of. And then when COVID happened,
there was no income.
There was no income and they struggled. So I think that's one thing that we have to do is go back and say, okay, we've got to hold sessions to teach these young people how to manage their money, even in college, because they get the Pell Grant for college when you get a full ride.
Yes.
And so by the end of the 4 years, they should have something saved up.
Right.
Yeah. And now, and we also, as parents, since that NIL is new, like a lot of us are still learning that.
Yeah.
So we have to learn it too. This is new to a lot of us as adults. It's very confusing. At my son's school, the entire football team just got an NIL deal. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so I just told him to keep living like you broke.
Right.
Period.
And keep
That's
money
what
in the
you got to
bank.
do. Like
But
he's
you-
not on a scholarship right now, you know, but you know, because he did the transfer, but you wasn't spending the money I was sending you. So keep living like that. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And I do want to say that our guest today will have a really excellent input on Mr. Larry London.
I think Mr. Larry got,
Larry
we
London.
always say us moms got something to say, right?
yeah,
Mr. Larry got something to say. Look. So
Yes.
So we're gonna go to we'll be right back. Before we introduce the man of the hour, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. You don't want to miss this.
sure don't.
You don't want to miss it. So welcome back. I think it's time to bring on our guest. We called him and we're so excited that he is here. So Mr. Lundy, he is the founder and president of LMG, which is marketing management firm founded in 2002 to serve corporations, brands, events, and athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Mr. Larry Lundy.
Get the little snaps. All right. Woo! So, Mr. Larry, we're going to play this game called Would You Rather? So I'm going to start first. Would you rather be sprayed by a skunk or fall into a porta potty?
What? Well, first of all,
And what? We speechless?
no, I'm not.
His face is everything.
First of all, thank you for inviting me to Can We Talk Sports, and you know, I'm proud to be president of Lundy Marketing Group and be here with you. But you know, we're not getting sprayed by no skunk, and we're not jumping in the porta potties.
Okay.
Neither
Yeah.
one.
Neither one. All right.
Would you rather? Neither.
He said, "What?"
All right. So what's your would you rather?
Okay. Would you rather? Oh wait, I forgot. Hold on. Okay. Would you rather wear somebody's underwear or use their toothbrush?
I use both of my own.
Good answer.
So we
Good
know
answer.
Mr. Lundy's answers are going to be neither.
Yeah. I see
That's
that.
on everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
But I'd like to
that.
hear yours, Mama D, because you know we want to give everybody an opportunity.
Oh, so you got to answer that.
So, Mr. Lundy, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly?
Well, right now I'd say invisible. And we go with that.
Oh my God!
we
I don't want to
with
be here.
We can go with that, but
You
I'm
actually
glad to be
right
here
now.
So if your superpower would be invisible.
today. For right now today. That's right, but I'm glad to be here. I mean, I'm heard a lot about your show, and it's really exciting that moms who, whether they know or not know, you're getting to know. And so I commend you all on getting in here and
Thank
learning,
you.
and inviting guests to learn more and educate your guests.
Thank you.
Absolutely, we appreciate that, and absolutely, we're learning, like with everybody else, and what knowledge we have, we're trying to pour into others. But we absolutely every show we learn something, so it's exciting for us.
Yeah, it is. So let's get right into it. So your company deals with marketing and managing. In our discussion in the green room, we were talking a little bit. So tell us a little bit how you got started into marketing and managing.
Well, Shannon, it really started tore my knee in high school. I played football, basketball, and baseball. When I graduated from college, in Texas, you could have, about 3 jobs: working in oil and gas, selling real estate, or banking. And I was selling real estate. And a friend of mine who I played with in high school, his brother played the Mavericks, and he asked me, could I do the basketball camp? And I said, well, how hard could it be? I played high school basketball, but it turned out to be one of the hardest things I ever do. I had to do, from creating the marketing, creating the plan, the registration, dealing with demanding mothers like yourself, and making sure the kids were happy. And afterwards, I made more money in that basketball camp in 1 week than I did in my job. And that's when I realized there was a business of sports. And back then, there was no school of sports management, no sports management majors. And I really didn't see anybody like me in the business of sports. So after that, that's when I took that camp business in a firm called Vantage Marketing Group. It's a minority firm, partnered with them, went to work with them, manages some of the best talent in Dallas, and was one of the biggest sports marketing firms back then.
Wow. And how long have you been doing it now?
Over 25 years.
25 years. So I know you've seen a lot throughout the years.
Seen a lot and a lot more, hopefully, to see.
Wow.
What was your inspiration in creating the Black sports professional?
Well, actually, the Black sports professionals were created by a group out of Ohio, even though I'm native of Cleveland, Ohio. They started back in the early 2000s. And when they, after a few years, they kind of dissipated. But we have, in Texas, we try to do things bigger and better.
Exactly,
and so we didn't fall off here in Texas. Breon Dennis and Chris Grant, who started here, we had a meeting, and was like the president of this group. And my inspiration was my personal experience. I had a passion for, once again, not seeing us in sports. And so we started meeting monthly. Regardless of what was going on around the country, we decided in Texas, right here in North Texas, we're going to meet monthly, whether it be a happy hour, get us together to get opportunities for our members, to get, jobs, and help those who did have jobs, help them get promoted. And so out of that, we were able to form a 501c3, and now we're thriving, and we've got a lot of traction here in Dallas area, and a lot of partners that are with us, a lot of members. And so we're excited to share that with the community.
Sounds good.
So you've worked with a lot of different companies, from Disney to General Mills to Adidas. All of these different companies that you've worked for, what company did you feel like did not represent diversity the way it should?
I think everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. When I say work with, the companies that I worked with, the first one was a minority-owned company, and we worked with some of the top talent in Dallas: Tony Dorsett, Emmett Smith, Rolando Blackman. Worked on the Bayou Classic, the first network Black college game on network television. So time for that. And some of those companies you mentioned, I didn't work in Oregon for Adidas. We actually did partnerships with Adidas, or did endorsement deals or sponsorship. But went from Advantage to Disney. Did Emmett Smith, Disney commercial. Just won a Super Bowl. What do you do next? Go to Disney World, and they recruited me to be their first director of sports marketing, and it host communications. After my mom got cancer, got a chance to come back with her as a senior vice president with Host here in Dallas, which is now IMG. And after 9/11, they didn't know if they wanted to run my division more. A lot happened in 9/11, back then. But that's when I started a company. So we're blessed to have 20 years. But to answer your question, everybody has an opportunity to improve in terms of diversity. Every single one. Now, our friends over at the Dallas Mavericks are kind of set the bar hard. It's very rare when you have a Black CEO, a Black GM, and a Black head coach. We're doing research today to still see if that's happening. So I give Mark Cuban, whatever you want to say, a lot of credit for having the best and brightest on there. And it's not because they're African American; they're the best at what they do.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. So let me ask you a question. When you are dealing with athletes, are you looking for them, or do they come to you?
It happens both ways. I prefer the referral, because you have a track record. People heard of you. I'm not sitting back in the locker room. I'm not chasing people down or there. I mean, it's really it's a crazy business today. Your sons will find out with name, image, and likeness. We worked with over 100 partnerships over the past year for college kids, and it's really just moved up the recruiting cycle. So where before it might be sophomore, junior, seniors, you might start recruiting for pro. They're now getting them as soon as they finish their last year of high school. DeSoto, they're getting opportunities because agents have to feel like, dude, I'm not an agent per se, because one of the reasons we pray with a lot of families on Friday night, and we're going to sign with you. You guys have said everything you need. And on Saturday, Jamal gave us Escalade. So it looks like that's what we're going to do.
Right.
So this, you could spend money on putting an athlete up, training them, and that athlete may not make it. And so to answer your question, we do identify athletes that we like, that we don't have to carry bail money for. Now, if you need it, we'll be there for you. But we're trying to figure out quality of life individuals who, and we're going to be there, after their career is over too. So how can we make that transition?
Right.
So we're looking to, identify athletes that fit, and at the same point in time, we get a lot of calls of, can we assist?
Wow, that's good.
Now, how are you guys pouring into their education as far as handling this new income that they're not familiar with how to handle? Like, do you guys have special education for them to, help them manage their money?
Well, we have resources. Like I'm in marketing and management. Part of that is that, but we also have relations with financial advisors. And so we're going to be involved every step along the way, but we let the experts do the experts. And I will want to back up a second. It really starts at home, whether you started giving an allowance or you start high school, like Ms. Brown says, what she's teaching her son about being walk-on and how to manage his money and resources. So we try to help the folks, start at home. And then in college, they have resources in class too. It's really up to the student athlete to be really paying attention when they're offering these courses. And in NFL, they're offering player development programs so that they can learn. But it's up to the player to take advantage of those.
Right. Absolutely. Good.
What is your take on like athletes attending like HBCUs, the experience in not the experience, but like the exposure and the things that have been limited? Of course, it seems to be taking a turn, and it's getting better. But what is your take on it?
I think the more the merrier. I mean, once again, the Bayou Classic was an eye-opening experience. There'd never been a Black college game on TV. And I remember Coach Robinson, who everybody knows, sharing that, hey, we need this to be successful. We need you to sell this sponsorship, or there's never going to be a Black college game on TV. And that's the mindset I would share with the kids today. They may feel comfortable at, PWIs, private institutions, or wherever they're good, but at historically Black college university, it may be a more personal experience. They may feel more confident, more appreciated. And if they can get the same opportunity on the field as off the field, I would say take advantage of it. And I also would say that Deion Sanders at Jackson State, rising tide lifts all boats. So he's putting Black college football back on the map, creating excitement. Other schools are hiring coaches. They're getting their game up. Even the coaches are dressing different. So I would say that, if their athletes should go where they feel, wanted and respected and appreciated, and then get the best education.
Yeah. So with the XFL coming, I know that just opens more doors even for you guys. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's more for those who want to play football. I mean, it's another option. I would say that anybody who, like I said, they didn't get a chance to NFL, or maybe they just missed it, it's another vehicle. And if you have The Rock and entertainment and a guaranteed contract, you're going to get some exposure. So some of the best players from that league are going to get a chance to be viewed to go to the next level. But it's a chance to fulfill your dream as professional football. It's just like everybody else.
You guys, right? Because their hub is here in Arlington.
Yeah, per se. But I think, depending on marketability and salaries and sponsorship, all those things remain to be seen. We're just like everybody else. We got to wait and see. So we're not working with any XFL athletes, but we wish them all the best.
We're going to have a break, and we'll be right back. We'll talk some more with Mr. Larry Lundy.
It's your girl, Fran Harris, former WNBA champion with the Houston Comets. It is finally here. Yes, the first novel set in the world of the WNBA. If you love Terry McMillan, if you love Eric Jerome Dickey and all his madness, then you will love Houston by Morning. It's a story of 4 characters: a baller, an agent, a television personality, and a coach. And the way their lives collide into one another is a beautiful mess. Pick up a copy now on Amazon Kindle or at HoustonByMorning.com.
Well, thanks for coming back, you guys. We have Mr. Larry Lundy here with us today. He is the president and founder of LMG. So, Mr. Lundy, I have one more question for you, and then I understand you may have some questions for us. This
Sure,
is,
why
would
not?
be a
But
first.
ladies
but-
first.
Okay, absolutely. So listen, what's your advice to college and high school students that are preparing themselves for the next level?
My advice first is to start with the end in mind. What do they want? Where are they trying to go? And to work with their parents to figure out kind of what resource they have. So if they have no resource, they understand what time it is. And maybe there might be a junior college option, or it might be an opportunity. They know that they need to get a scholarship, but what do they need to prepare for that? They will spend $300 or $400 from Jordans, but are they spending that money for ACT prep? If they're spending money for, jewelry or whatever, are they spending it and investing in themselves for training?
Right.
So everything they need to be the best that they can be. Talk to their coaches, talk to their parents, talk to their teachers. Because if you not said a word to your teacher and you're going to call them 2 weeks before graduation for a reference letter, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they need to be building these relationships all year long. So when they need that to go to that next level, they have it and they've done their part. But there's also assembled them a network, their team, to go to the next level.
Excellent.
I do have a question. What has been your challenges when it comes to marketing and managing athletes?
I think the biggest challenge is there's never a playbook. It's always something different. It's always moving. When we started, there was no social media. There was no NIL, name, image, and likeness. Now we have NFTs. The ball is constantly moving. We've gone through a pandemic. We went through 9/11.
Right.
So it's always evolving. Now you've seen athletes, which is great, educating them to be their own boss, to hire their own, hire their network of people. So you're not just talent, but you're part of the business. So you've seen LeBron James and other athletes take control of their brands and to build not only just marketing opportunities, but build really infrastructure to run businesses. So after their career's over, they're also impacting their community and empire. I mean, he's started a school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the same thing can be said for some athletes here, and we look forward to working with them to do that.
What about character? What's the challenges you've seen character-wise with athletes?
Well, character-wise, it's just like anybody else growing up in school. You have some kids that may not have great moms like yourself that may be veered off the wrong way, but doesn't mean they're not salvageable. So I think what we need to do is we're only as strong as our weakest link. We need to help all of our kids' community, not throw them away. So if they've had a bad turn, they may not have just known how. Nobody set them down and showed them right for wrong. They may not have had a male figure. I really admire that all you women have come on board here. And, a lot of them may not have fathers in the house. So I think in terms of character, honor, integrity, those things are start once again at the home or at the family reunion or Big Mama's house. And if you don't have all those things growing up, then their first discipline and character might start with their high school coaches who become father figures, and the same in college.
That's good.
I have a question to piggyback off her marketing question, but it's like a 2-part question.
Okay.
How important do you feel that, like for the athlete marketing, to be active like on social media when it comes to like maybe name, image, and likeness, or even if they haven't gotten that kind of opportunity, should they be more active? And the other one is, when should a kid, I guess there's a young man at that point, when they have an agent, when is it important to know it's time to get a new agent?
Well, I'll take the first question first. In terms of social media, it should be who they are.
Okay.
There's some kids out here that they're taking just like mamas are. What they're eating, where they're at, and their life is played.
Right.
There's some kids that are very private, don't need all that.
Right.
So, what I would say is put out on the marketplace what you guys want to be perceived of you.
Yeah.
If it's your training, you want to show this. You work hard.
Yeah,
show
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
If you want to show that you're giving back at the Boys and Girls Club, you got to show that. So, and I do think being consistent, but keep the main thing. Whatever got you that scholarship, continue to do that. Working out, and make that. But I will say, brands are looking for those who have more followers.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be anything you're not and be fake, but be who you are and let the followers go. And you can also do things that would help increase. And that's what we try to help athletes do. What would help increase? Whether it be coming to a free football camp you give, or giving away free memorabilia or auction to help drive followers. That's authentic.
Okay.
That's not fake. No
Yeah,
bias.
for sure. That's
Now,
a
the
good
second
idea.
part of the question, you want to ask that again?
When do you think that a professional, one who got drafted or went undrafted as a free agent, needs to get a new agent?
Well, I think that can happen anywhere between the time they sign with that agent, if there's some mispropriety extracurricular actions going on, if they find out something's not happening, or if they just feel comfortable, like their term just in a relationship, that time has gone their way. But I think every athlete and representative should be given an opportunity to work together to see if they can achieve their goals. I know athletes that fired their agent before the draft came.
Wow.
It's really depending what, or after the draft when they didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
But I would tell you this: there is no agent on this planet, I don't care what they say, that can make you get drafted. It's
That's
really
true.
your talent, what
And
the
what
coaches
they want.
see. The GM,
And
the
the need
NFL
of the
teams have
team.
their own scouts.
Yeah.
So if they think you can play, you can play. And
Right.
so there's no agent on earth that's going to say, well, because I signed with him, they're going to get them drafted.
And the need of the team.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Mr. Larry Lundy, I think you have some questions for us.
Well, I just commend you once again on having your own show and putting it out there. But what, for the followers and viewers out there, what is your hopes and dreams for Can We Talk Sports? What do you would like to see come from your platform?
Well, can I answer that?
Yes,
Well,
please.
it's a beautiful dream of Karen's, and as host, we want to be able to fulfill that dream she have to help other mothers understand what's going on, because you have so many young mothers coming up, and they don't know what to do. The recruiting process, and then now we have all the new. You can make money at it, with your kids starting going into college, and so her heart desires to build a platform where we can help mothers, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, bringing guests on that can help answer questions that a lot of mothers have. So I think us as host just is honored to be a part of her dream,
Supporting her.
to support her dream.
And then
Yeah.
for also teaching, like when you have an athlete who's, I've been on both ends of it. I've had an older kid who was the man all his life.
Yeah.
My other kid was just as good, but he wasn't the man. So you see the different sides of and the privilege of it versus like the one that come out of the house with 22 offers and the other one that had 0 coming out. You know what I mean? And circumstances were different. So I think, to me, I'm very passionate about parents understanding how to be proactive for their own kid as well, because the coaches can only do so much, but also teaching them the way you approach a coach. Cussing a coach out and all that is not getting your kid anywhere.
That's
Go have a private meeting, conversation with the coach and go through the chain of command. But I just feel like it's very important for parents to understand that. I feel like it's important for coaches to take mental health serious with kids, because don't just pacify the big time guy. What about this guy that don't get in this game at all? You know, let them know, like, stop making athletes feel like they're pouting for asking a question. What do I need to do to get better, coach? You know what I mean? So I just think that my passion for it is to teach the parents that, make them recognize. Like I told on the last episode, my kid was in my room like, oh, I'm good. And I happened to go put some clothes in his room that I folded. He was on the floor, balled up in a fetal position, bawling. Didn't understand what was going on. All behind getting dropped on the depth chart from an injury. But being told by the coach, you good, we need to rest you till game 1. And all of a sudden y'all just took him.
Dropped him.
You see what I'm saying? So I think coaches need to mean it when they say, hey, I got an open door. But the rest of the city, see, you get one of the kids with the best hands and routes in the entire North Texas. You don't understand. They have to learn how to communicate and tell a kid, and stop thinking when a kid come to their office that you're pouting. You hear them out and tell them what they need to hear. Not just to tell them what they need to hear, what they need to, something to make them feel better, or, hey, you're good, but this is just where we are. Just be honest. So I'm really, I know I just carried that on at the end, but I'm passionate about that. Because I mean, if I wouldn't have had a strong kid, my kid could have been in his room, then took some pills and been out of there.
Yeah, because you're
And
finding a
kids
lot of
do.
athletes that are doing it.
And
So
and that's, to me, that was my strong kid.
it's the passion of bringing an awareness.
Yeah, so
That's our
that's my
passion.
version of it. So
Yeah.
I think we all have
Have
a
that.
whole different story
Yes.
in a role. And that's like, even, her kid going to the NFL and having to go through the transition. I had one that went to the NFL,
Yeah.
went back to training camp. You cut
Injuries.
before you can even touch the ball.
Right.
He didn't go through depression. If he did, I still don't know, because he's one of the strong kids. But yeah, it's just a lot of different areas. And I think this show, if it can reach to where it needs to, that's an area that talks about, I know like on I Am Athlete, Brandon Marshall's really strong about that. But I think that they need to see that in a parent's perspective, a mom, because they think we're babying our boys.
We're not.
But when they're talking to a man, oh, you're weak because you're pouring your heart out to me. But we're not babying our kids. We're letting them hear. I mean, we're giving them an avenue to talk, because when they're in front of you, they may be like, oh, I'm good, you know, it's all right, I ain't gonna worry about it. But they really worried about it. Yeah.
So you're gonna have opportunities for dads to get involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're needed.
My passion when Karen brought the ideal to me, I hopped on it because I had 3 kids that went through Christian school with not all the opportunities that, you know, regular schools have. And my oldest daughter was 10th grade, 11th grade before we knew anything about recruiting or, you know, what she was supposed to be doing to be seen by coaches. And I mean, she played club volleyball, and that's how she got her looks. She didn't get any looks from high school. Okay. So it was, I mean, in a year, because you're going to get your scholarship before you go to your senior year. You can't wait till your senior year. So within a year, we were getting recruited, and she only played club volleyball. She started in the 10th grade. So we only had 2 years of preparation, and we didn't know what to do. But she ended up going, playing volleyball for the University of Louisiana Monroe. She went on to play professional volleyball in Germany. But if someone had told us, if we would have known in volleyball, 6th grade, you need to be playing volleyball, club volleyball in 6th grade. And women of color, they don't know that. First of all, it's expensive. It's very expensive. They don't have the funds. And it's just, nobody taught us. So then we knew a little bit earlier. When my son played football, we knew to start a little bit earlier. But parents need to know, they need to be checking their grades in 8th grade. You need to be making sure you're on the honor roll. 7th grade, 8th grade. By 9th grade, it's real. Your grades matter. Okay. And nobody's going to throw away a scholarship on you. You could be the best football player in the world. If you don't have your grades together, they're throwing money on the ground. Because if you can't play, they're wasting money. So kids need to know it's academics. You get your grades first. I always told I was athletic director assistant for a few years. And I always told them, it's extra curriculum. It's after you get your curriculum. So grades come first. Okay. Get your grades first. Then you can get on that field and do what you want to do. So that was my passion. We've had everybody on this show, from people about the brain. What is the brain? What did Hernandez have? Michael Hernandez had it.
There you go. I couldn't think of,
we've had a doctor talking about that. We've had female football players. We've had, the gamut.
NFL.
Yes. Coach. And so we've had a gamut. We want to educate. We want to empower families, children. We want them to be able to see and experience and know, so that they can know, I can do that. I could be that.
And this is what it takes.
We want to open the door.
So before we move on, I on my part of it, it's the mental side, the mental health. It's massive that is an awareness. We don't want to leave out the dads. Of course you want the dads, but you find out you have a lot of single moms raising kids, raising their athletes and sons. And then you're finding out the fathers are there. There's fathers there, but some of them are there because they think their son or their daughter is going to be very successful. You see it all the time, right? And 1 minute you don't see them, then all of a sudden they might see their kid's name flash on Ballers TV, and then all of a sudden dad comes from out of nowhere, So I mean, it's just to bring an awareness, but for me it's the mental, because I had a son who suffered 4 surgeries on his knee, running back, and I've watched him mentally struggle. But he's luckily he has both parents, but it's just that there's an awareness that you don't talk about, because he's kind of like, he watches brother goes professional, and then he's kind of like, well, what about me? What we dealt with him was spiritually, because he felt like, God, really? You left me out? But that's something we don't even talk about as well. We want to bring to the awareness, like, yes, you're a great athlete, but you got to keep God first and foremost.
And God may have something else for you.
Right. And so how do you, what about, his story may help someone else, another kid out there that's going through it. So it's just, again, it's about bringing in awareness.
Tell us about the Black Sports Professional and give us some more information about it.
Well, Black Sports Professionals North Texas is a group of professionals that work in the business of sports.
Okay.
Don't play on the court, but we have 4 pillars that we believe in. Number 1 is career awareness. A lot of our kids, especially young boys, think they're going to be pro athletes, and 75% of them think that, but are not. So once the 1% are going to be, that's what can we do? Go into the schools and make career awareness in the business sports a platform for them. Second is career development. We have a lot of sports professionals that are working in the business. What are the tools we need to give them and arm them so they can grow in the business and get into the business? And then third, career advancement. We don't want you to just start at the row or the rung and not be able to promote it.
Gotcha.
So what are the tools you need to get promoted? And last, community and scholarship. Like we gave over 12,000 or 10,000 scholarships last year, and we're working on that. So if anybody needs to contact us, we're at bspntx.org.com, so they can contact us.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And they can contact you about scholarships too, right?
Yeah, especially if they're interested in pursuing a career in the business of sports.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yes.
That's some good
Excellent.
information.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. We enjoyed having you.
It was a pleasure for me.
Mr. Larry London, you have me smiling from ear to ear. It was such a joy to have you today.
Pleasure.
It really was.
Thank you.
So anyway, thank you so much for being a guest on our show. It was just a pleasure. I mean, we laughed in the green room. You were funny. Oh my gosh. We could go on and on about a lot of things that you do and questions you probably have for us, but we want to say thank you, Larry, for joining the show. It was great having you. So yeah,
and we got some great information.
Yes.
Very thorough answers. And some, look, I learned some today too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I did too.
Now we want to go ahead and introduce Big Mama.
Big Mom, man, we love her.
Big
Don't we love her? Don't we love her? Big Mama's coming to the show. She got something to say.
Yes, she does.
Always got something to say. So stay tuned for Big Mama.
What you want, what you need.
Get out of order with this rolling. Your ass mine.
Every little thing you want, every little thing you need. Keep it all for yourself, my love, cause it really don't matter to me.
Hey baby, my name is Cal Deroni Baker. Some people call me Big Mama, but as you can see, I ain't Big Mama, all right? I ain't 90 years old, I ain't about to clock out. My favorite football team is the team that won last Sunday, baby. That's how I roll, amen? Because we do things decent and in order. Hey babies, welcome to another Fireside Chat with Mama Roni. Got another question in my mailbag, and I'm going to bring this one to you straight from the hip. Mama Roni, my son has NFL potential. He is a senior in high school, and he came in and told me and my husband that he was burnt out, that he wanted to quit playing football, maybe take a break. Well, baby, let me tell you this. When a child comes to a parent and expresses a need to take a break, you don't need to ignore that, baby. The mental health challenges for the kids of this generation, those things are real. They've always been real, but now we talking about them more. So if your son came to you and said that he think he needs a break, Mama Roni gonna say that you need to listen, that you need to delve deeper, and more importantly, you might want to have your son talk to a counselor or a mental health coach. And the reason I say that is because I know it probably took a lot for him to come to you
and tell you that. And I know it might upset or concern you and your husband, but it probably took a lot for him to do that. And even if you got a real open relationship with your son where communication is real good, sometimes an objective third party is a lot better in these situations. So I would encourage you to have your son talk to a counselor to see if they can get to the root of what might be going on with your son. Amen. I know there's a reason you mentioned in your letter that he was an NFL prospect. He had the potential. I picked up on that. And all I'm going to tell you, baby, is this. Don't get blinded by the dollar signs, potential dollar signs. Ain't nothing more important than the health, the mental health of your children. And this might be something your son can get through and work through, might not be. But if a kid says that they burn out, if a kid says they need a break of a sport that they love and you know they love it, you need to delve deeper. I'm going to be praying for you, baby. And I'll see y'all in the next Fireside Chat with Mama Roni. Y'all be good now.
So thank you, Big Mama. Big Mama always has something interesting to talk about, so we really appreciate her. So, Mr. Larry Lundy, we have to tell you that you are remarkable. We enjoy your spirit. We appreciate that you uplifted us and just brought us so much joy today. So we thank you for being here, and we really appreciate you.
Okay, so listen, if you need to get in contact with him, check him out at www.bspntx.com or lindymarketinggroup.com. So thank you for joining us. This is on another episode of Can We Talk Sports? I'm your girl, Shannon, and
Carmen, aka Mama D.
Arisha, aka Icy.
and we'll see you later.
Bye.
I just want to say how beautiful you are. I went and looked at the pictures and I was like, oh, girl, but she's so pretty. What did your mama say? Did your mama say my little baby, my little girl's out there getting hit?
Yeah, that was the first thing she said when I told her I wanted to box. She said, what about your face?
Okay, so I want to go back a little, just real quick. American Idol, you was singing. What season was that?
It was one of the first seasons. So probably like within the first 5 shows. I forgot what season actually, but this was when it first came out. And
you said to lose weight. So is that the key for me? Because I'm struggling with losing weight. So do you think I need to get into boxing?
I can't. An unfortunate conclusion to think just because I'm a combat athlete, I'm a woman first, and I'm very feminine. I don't know if you've seen me outside the ring, like the interview. I'm very girly.